Episode 336. Sin City. The moment you step into this leveling zone, even the sky changes. Dark clouds gather overhead, a fine drizzle falls, and the occasional rumble of thunder echoes. The entire city is cast in an evil blackish hue, shrouded in rain and mist, drastically reducing a player's visibility. The constant patter of the drizzle and the occasional rumble of thunder further challenged a player's hearing. In Glory, many threats from behind are detected by sound and experience alone. The moment Yeshu's Lord Grimm stepped onto the street, a thunderclap boomed overhead. A brilliant bolt of lightning streaked down from the heavens, instantly bleaching the entire avenue in a stark, ghostly white. Yeshu struck in that instant. With a flick of his mouse, Lord Grimm pivoted, thrusting the Sky Strike umbrella to the left. The canopy snapped open, then flipped and closed with a sharp thwack. The dragon tooth strike landed squarely on its target. In the flash of lightning, a pale twisted face, slick with rain, lunged forward with a gleaming dagger aimed at Lord Grimm. But Lord Grimm was faster, his spear striking first. This is a resident of Sin City, one of the local mobs for grinding. Glory's attention to detail is so meticulous that even the NPC mobs are randomly generated from in-game character templates. Even the goblins in the woods, if you look closely, aren't exactly identical. But with those inhuman monsters, they all look the same to a person. These humanoid ones, though, players can instantly tell the differences in their features, gender, build, and so on. But all of that is just to make the game world feel more real and alive. But it has absolutely no bearing on a character's combat prowess. The dragon tooth connected, and Lord Grimm followed up with a Sky Strike, launching the resident into the air. With his ferocious face and sudden attack, any ordinary player would have been caught off guard and taken a hit. Sin City's unique environment and weather were already a nuisance for players, but the local mobs were even worse, incredibly aggressive, with massive aggro ranges. Take this one, for instance. It had been crouching in a street-side drainage ditch, but the moment Lord Grimm set foot on the road, it was instantly alerted. But unfortunately for him, he'd run into Yeshu. Many of Glory's competitive maps are actually adapted from the game's own environments. Places like Sin City, with its streets and urban layout, have direct counterparts in the arena. But for the average player, they probably wouldn't go out of their way to try every single map. But Yeshu was different. As a pro player, every single map was something he needed to practice and master. With all his years of gaming experience, his long professional career, what environment in Glory could possibly be unfamiliar to Yeshu? Take Sin City, for example. When new players first arrive, the reduced visibility and chaotic sound effects can feel downright oppressive. The sudden attacks from the residents were far more likely to startle them. But for Yeshu, this was all just routine. He handled them as easily as the simplest map outside a starter village. After the Sky Strike, the myriad manifestations umbrella shifted seamlessly between combat forms in Lord Grimm's hands. He unleashed skills at will. If a mere leveling mob could cause him any real trouble, then Yeshu would be a disgrace to his reputation. However, the significant level difference ultimately diminished Lord Grimm's offensive power. Even so, it still took Yeshu a fair bit of time to finally bring this resident down. The problem was, every resident in Sin City was at least 5 levels higher than Lord Grimm. The experience gained from killing one was so pitiful, it wasn't even a consolation prize compared to farming mobs in the starter village. Yeshu had no intention of wasting time on these low-experience residents. After taking down this one, he carefully scanned his surroundings. Residents were loitering at his 9, 11, and 1 o'clock positions. The aggro range of these residents had long been data mined by players. Most had to rely on mouse over coordinates to gauge the distance, but a top-tier expert like Yeshu could judge it by sight alone. The 3 residents were positioned to completely block the street. No matter where you approached from, you'd inevitably enter the aggro range of at least one of them. But the 3 of them were restless, all pacing back and forth. Yeshu watched closely. As the resident at the 9 o'clock position shifted 2 body lengths to the left, he seized the opening. Lord Grimm sprinted forward. The resident at 11 o'clock suddenly stopped and turned back. Yeshu immediately made Lord Grimm hop back twice in quick succession, dancing right on the edge of its aggro range. After confirming the positions of all 3 residents one more time, he made his next move. Lord Grimm angled 30 degrees to the right and charged in. As he moved, Yeshu constantly shifted his character's perspective, watching the 3 residents. At the slightest reaction, he immediately adjusted his course. Finally, after a series of advances, retreats, and sharp turns, Lord Grimm slipped right through the middle of the three residents without alerting a single one. The process was a bit tedious, but it was still much faster than killing a resident to clear the way.
Everyone here?
Once inside the district, Ye Shu pulled up his friends list and called out to Su Muqing and Tang Ru.
We're here. We're here.
They answered in turn.
Keep at it.
Ye Shu just said that much. There was no need for the three of them to meet up now. Doing so would only make them steal targets from each other. While the rules do allow for teaming up, the points each member gets are drastically reduced when you do. So, which is more efficient, teaming up or going solo? The event just started. No one's had time to figure out the best approach yet. But from Ye Shu's experience, teaming up was about simplifying the fight. The gains were smaller, but the frequency was higher. So, for a solo player with enough combat power, it's actually more efficient than teaming up. There was no question that Ye Shu had the combat prowess. And it wasn't just him, Su Muqing and Tang Ru were also far more capable than the average player. None of them needed to team up. After calling out to the two of them, Ye Shu gave Tang Ru, who was new to the area, a few pointers on what to watch out for in Sin City. He didn't want her inexperience to trip her up in some unexpected way.
Listen carefully. There's a lot of background noise here, but the sounds of the mobs attacking won't be completely drowned out. You need to learn to pick out the sounds you need from all that noise.
Ye Shu had just sent Tang Ru his final message. This one wasn't just about dealing with Sin City anymore. It was about a piece of game knowledge she should have mastered by now.
Got it.
Tang Ru replied. The two of them were actually just separated by a single computer, but since they needed to hear the in-game sounds, they weren't talking outside the game. But Chen Guo paid no mind to that. Glancing at Tang Ru's screen, she immediately exclaimed in surprise.
What level are you coming to Sin City?
He said, glancing back at Ye Shu again.
You too.
But before Ye Shu could even get a word out, Chen Guo was already worked up, jabbing her finger right at his computer screen.
Hey, thief.
I see.
Ye Shu had no choice but to continue the conversation with Chen Guo.
Hurry up and attack.
I don't want to aggro the mobs.
Ye Shu had already locked onto the Christmas thief, but the target was currently flanked by two residents of Sin City. Attacking now would definitely alert them both. Ye Shu was waiting for the perfect moment. Chen Guo, of course, understood Ye Shu's intention. She abandoned her own game and focused entirely on helping him keep a sharp eye on his screen. The Christmas thief seemed to feel perfectly safe, squatting motionless in his corner. The two City of Sin residents around him, however, kept pacing back and forth.